Well, first up today, the Academy Awards, of course, last night honored the best of the best in film. Today, most critics are saying there weren't a lot of surprises. Would you agree with that?
Yeah, well, we have a special guest here to give us a quick review. He's been to Hollywood and back, not last night, though. Ryan J. is a Milwaukee native, and he's also one of America's most popular, nationally syndicated radio film critics. He also created the website WeSeeMovies.com, and he can be found in the pages of Us Weekly. Good to have you here, Ryan.
Glad to be here.
Nice to have you.
Thank you.
So exciting. Overview, what did you think of the Oscars last night?
Well, the Oscars for me are like Christmas. It's the biggest night of the year. I would take it every weekend if I could. And this year played it kind of safe. You know, I feel like if you didn't see all of the nominated films, you were a little left out on the gags. So I can only imagine it would have been a little bit boring. But they tried to make up for it with Cirque du Soleil and with some of the presenters having funny bits, which I thought really went over well. But I loved Billy Crystal being back.
You did too.
Yeah, I liked it too. And he was kind of like a late ad, which I think is always a tough role to kind of fill. Let's talk first about the ashes that got dumped on Ryan Seacrest. I felt like, just looking at him, he truly was surprised. Would you agree?
Yeah, I was actually disappointed in his reaction. I kind of thought
was too.
It would be an honor. I mean, Sacha Baron Cohen, he's promoting his new film, which comes out later this year, The Dictator.
Right.
And the ashes, you know, here they are, and instead of sort of being in on the gag, he looked kind of offended, and he was more concerned about his tux than maybe he's going to make it into the film, which would be amazing, right?
Right,
Yeah.
or the moment of it in general. Obviously, he was the only presenter picked on the red carpet to
Seriously.
have this done to. It was hilarious,
Right,
and he
and
really did. He seemed really uncomfortable.
Really uncomfortable and almost offended. There was a lot of buzz about whether or not Sacha Baron Cohen would be allowed into the red carpet to even do something like this, and I was just like, come on, Ryan Seacrest, get your sense of humor, make it happen, work with it.
And he had an extra tux, so what did he have to worry about? He put on
Exactly.
a new tux right after that, so he was
Yes.
cleaned up and just fine.
Yeah, I didn't think he played along with it very well. Back to Billy Crystal, I really thought that he was really on his game. I know some people this morning are saying he was boring or they thought it was a miss. I thought he was stellar last night.
I did. I read, you know, in the Twitterverse, some of the kids were saying, the kids,
Right.
we're talking about, you know, how it was almost like seeing your grandpa do stand-up comedy in the 80s at the Catskills. But I thought that's not fair. The producers really needed to play it safe. After the debacle last year with James Franco and Anne Hathaway,
Yes.
they just needed to bring some class back to the show and kind of do something a little bit more predictable. And you know, Billy Crystal, he can improv and he can be funny and he can get away with a couple jabs like he did at Christian Bale, you know, and his violent outbreak. And whereas, you know, Ricky Gervais at the Golden Globes gets a little bit more flack for something like that.
I thought he kept it very classy, and he was. He was just kind of old Hollywood, brought that glamour back,
Yeah.
stayed very sophisticated, very classy. I thought he was a perfect fit.
I thought so too. Emma Stone and Ben Stiller were hilarious, I thought.
I loved them.
Brilliant, right?
Yeah.
I mean, you know, there was that one moment earlier in the show with Cameron Diaz and J-Lo where they do that over-the-shoulder thing and they kind of
Yes.
improved and it was silly and I was so embarrassed for them because I think it totally failed.
Because they didn't commit to it.
Right.
Yeah.
And then I was nervous when Emma Stone came out and she started to be kind of silly and fun too, but it totally worked. She was hilarious. Robert Downey Jr. and Gwyneth Paltrow were hilarious. And the same with Will Ferrell and Zach Galifianakis. I thought, you know, if you hadn't seen some of the movies and you didn't know what was going on at the Oscars last night, the presenters really made up for it.
Yeah, they
I
were
thought they were funny,
fantastic.
too.
Okay, let's get to some of the movies and some of the picks. What did you think of The Artist in general?
I love The Artist, and I know it's sort of a hard sell because it's a silent film, because it's in black and white, but at the end of the day, it's all about story. And if you can desensitize yourself, you know, give yourself 20 minutes to get into the movie, it has drama and comedy and romance and everything is there, and it's really at the end of just a brilliant film. As a matter of fact, because it was doing so well all award season, I went back and looked at some silent films from the 1920s and they're just not watchable, which just is a testament to how brilliant The Artist actually is, that it can captivate and engage a 2011 audience.
I think so too. The Help is a movie that I still have not seen, but it looks really worth viewing. I think
Honey, what are you
I
waiting
did see
for?
it this weekend.
Of all, you did, finally.
Yes.
Seriously, of all the Best Picture nominees that have the biggest
Phenomenal.
box office, you will see it. Tell me you'll see
for
it.
sure.
Okay,
Yeah.
I'll bring it over.
Okay, that'd be great.
All right.
But I think a lot of people were surprised that this film got the Best Supporting Actress award last night, but not Best Actress, which went to Meryl Streep.
Right. Both supporting actor and actress, Christopher Plummer for Beginners and Octavia Spencer for The Help, they swept award season.
Yeah.
And then it was kind of between George Clooney and Jean Dujardin for actor, and Meryl Streep and Viola Davis, who looked like a sea monster. I'm sorry, I'm fashion police after all. Meryl Streep did finally pull it out, and at the end of the day, 17 nominations. This is her third win. You can't disagree with that. She is the greatest living actress.
Yeah.
She is, but I really think The Help should have won. I'm just going to say, I think that was one of the most moving performances I've seen in a long time, and I think with Meryl Streep, I loved the fact, though, when she won, she got up there and said, I can hear half of America groaning right now, saying, oh gosh, her again. And at that moment, I liked the fact that she won more, so she pulled it off really well with that speech.
Absolutely.
She knows what she's doing.
You didn't like The Descendants, did you?
No, I did not
Why?
like The Descendants. I don't think George Clooney should have gotten a Best Actor nod for it.
Really?
Not at all. I think it was way plain. I actually thought he was just George Clooney. And
What
even
about
though,
when he ran? That moment
no,
when he runs.
anybody can run in a movie.
But he was kind of duck running there, right?
Because he was wearing flip-flops, right? But
Yeah.
no, I was not a fan. I liked the movie. I wouldn't recommend it, and I wouldn't see it again.
See, I was kind of disappointed in Hugo because based on the trailers for that film, I thought it was a fantasy film. I thought it was going to be a lot more magical, kind of like a Harry Potter. And in the trailer, they compare it to Peter Pan and the Wizard of Oz all in one. And there's really no magic to it. It's kind of just a very straightforward family film that was gorgeous to look at, but I didn't think it was what, I had expected.
Interesting. It was great to have you here today.
thanks for
Great to be here.
You got a little fashion police comment in there, too. This is the website where people can check you out. It's weseemovies.com.